You're so self-effacing. I go into every new season and be like, this is exactly what you want. You hogs, put your snout in the trough. I know this is what you want. You can't come in here like with a sad little bindle over your shoulder.
I'm sorry, Austin. I'm the one that's like, oh, I don't want this. And then just like, well, everyone else is like, oh, you're so good at this. I'm like, really? This? Okay, sure, fine. But
more people love JJJ the Weasel than played Conquered, PlayStation's hot new video game. So
JJJ ratioed Concord, which is that's an interesting comment. Probably true. But before we can get to everyone's favorite weasel, we got to somehow get through the rest of what's going on here. So let's get some introductions in order. So what we're about to embark on is effectively the closest thing I can do to turn Shardpoint into a quote-unquote campaign. And what is going to happen is we're going to have an arc with a set of players that are joining me here. And then afterwards, try to do a variety of one-shots and arcs with a rotating cast of various guests to explore various silly adventures that could be had within the context of Shardpoint. And so what I'd like to do to begin is have the other players introduce themselves. And I want us to do this in a specific order because I want you to introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself, and then kind of just at least put out who your character is in a general concept. Sara, would you care to lead us off?
wait, Skitch, Michael Skitch, Schiciano, who are you?
Oh gosh. I'm just, listen, okay.
Wow, way to be a host.
At Skitch Music, where can I find you?
Oh, I don't know. You can find me at Skitch Music on many locations. You can also find me as just Skitch on Blue Sky. You can also find my music on skitch.bandcamp.com. And outside of somehow being the person in charge of this, I have been a participant in Dice Funk on many occasions, and I would consider myself basically the production assistant on Dice Funk in terms of audio preparation, video encoding, spending way too much and yet just enough time designing titles, logos, and stuff like that, that at one point I need to just make some merchandise off of if I can just get the gumption to pull that off.
Gotta make merchandise, Skitch.
Gotta make the merch.
Yes. So and for the purpose of Shardpoint, I'll be acting as the narrator, the NPCs, the weasel, all the important things beyond what our player characters are going to be. And with that being said, Sara, will you care to lead us off about yourself and who you'll be playing as for this little arc, this little story?
All right, yeah. So my name's Sara. I'm Cosmignon, like basically most places that you can find me on social media. I have been on and off a player on Dice Funk since season 9. In the middle of season 9, full player on season 11, and now I'm joining in for some Shardpoint shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. And who will you be playing as? You don't go into too much detail, but who are you going to be playing as here?
Today, I'm going to be playing Eclair, the Aasimar Fighter, with the Eldritch Knight subclass.
Nice. That should be fun. Next, I have on my list here, Forneia.
Hello from below. I am Forneia, Noble Mermaid, and your local Leviathan. And I am just kind of here because I've known Skitch for near 15 years now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I've been on Shardpoint twice previously, and I've been vocal training the whole time, so I'm probably not going to sound consistent with any of those.
It's okay.
Oh, good.
So, to be fair, during season 11, when Quinn was DMing, she was doing active voice training during the season she was DMing. And this caused complications just because of the range of voices she was trying to do at the same time.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. I super get that. Been there. Really, that's just kind of how that one goes, really.
Mm.
But, yeah.
But, your primary place people can find you is Twitch and Blue Sky?
That is correct. I am, in fact, a VTuber, and I can be found on Twitch, Twitch Forneia, the usual format there. And I am, in fact, on Blue Sky, where I follow some folks here, and I don't get followed back.
Oh, damn, called out.
Way to call them out. Well played. Excellent.
Yeah, well, I've known Skitch for 16 years. It's a competition. I'm winning.
I see.
Take that.
Austin has the special distinction of firing me from one job at one point.
Oh, hell yeah.
Back during blistered thumbs. I was
I can get any of you. I'll find wherever you all work, and I'll fire you. Don't worry about it.
Oh, man.
To be fair, Austin, you were
bold of you to assume I have a job.
No, my one weakness, unemployment.
Oh, you got him.
Yeah, totally.
You got him. So, but that being said, Austin, like I said, it was. To be fair, you did me a little bit of a solid there because the site was a mess the whole time, and it was climbing a ladder that was already on fire. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
You'll need to listen to a bonus episode behind a paywall to get all the deets about that.
Oh boy!
Oh gosh, is that sounds very spew punkable?
Yeah.
I guess if we wanted to do that, but anyways, Austin.
Wait, I didn't
tell us some more about yourself and who you're playing as.
Tell me about Forneia's character.
Right.
No, I need
We
to
forgot about Forneia.
Oh, good. Honestly, I expected this to happen. But
Dang.
yeah, I am playing Phyrlass, who is a drow, and I put Wardancer here, but that's a little bit of a smudgery on my part. But she runs the cheer squad and has a modified black gakaron with a pleated skirt and other good stuff.
Yes, Forneia is playing a third party, like a homebrew class, basically in this case here.
That's
Phyrlass,
so that will be
Phyrlass.
That is correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So we have Eclair, Phyrlass, and now over to you, Austin. Tell us more about yourself, what you've got yourself into, and who you're playing as.
What up? It's your boy Austin Yorsky. I'm very easy to find on the internet. Just Austin Yorsky, my name. It's in the description of this and every Dice Funk episode. Patreon.com/Austin Yorsky is what pays the bills. Dice Funk is the main show. As we just alluded to, there's also Spew Punk, a bonus show where Quinn and I talk about movies, books we're reading, we gossip. I did a whole hour-long diatribe about Mountain Dew recently. That was very funny. We also have a spin-off show called Spit in My Mouth, which is about kink, I guess. That one kind of snuck up on me. Didn't set out to make it. It just kind of happened to me. But
That
Like a lot of kinks, really.
yeah.
it's just a lot of, I'm funny on podcasts mostly.
I mean, this one sounds like the best one.
It's a good time. It's really revealing. It's a kind of a window into other aspects of your life. You know, you're talking about boning, but it's really about vulnerability and our childhoods and our futures and butts. So podcast is where you'll find me. Austin Yorsky everywhere. I am playing Chad Swozzle, the Gnome Wizard. You'll learn a lot about Chad Swozzle and his whole deal as the show goes on, but I've been trying to do a different kind of wizard, and you're going to see what that means. So Chad Swozzle's the name.
Yeah, I had my own different type of wizard for season 11. Now we're going to have a different type of wizard going on here with Chad Swozzle, which, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, well, we could talk about the origin of the name later on, but that's a one.
That's a deep cut for real dice heads, real funk idiots.
Real funk. Okay, so everyone you've heard so far has been a veteran or an alumni or whatever you want to call it, but I did want to take a moment here to introduce someone new to the audience and to the show. Peter, who are you? Who are you playing as?
Oh, man, it's the first day of school and everyone already has friends. My name's Peter Hunter. You can find me at Praetor Hunter pretty much everywhere on the internet. A comedian, musician. I've done work with riff tracks. And I played a lot of tabletop, so I'm excited to join this little adventure here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to not to oversell, I mean, you were a producer on the Rift Tracks game, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. I remember play testing a little bit of that for you once, way back when.
Yes.
That was
that was a disaster on my old streaming setup. It's fine now. Everything's fine. That was like 2 computers ago.
2 computers ago is an interesting way to describe time scales and stuff like that. So, Peter, who are you playing as today?
I am playing as Ashley Simpson III, no relation. I am a level 5 Halfling Rogue, but I'm really more of an entertainer.
I see. I'm very familiar with the no relation family. Liam Nassan, no relation. I think we had Drew Barry Less, no relation. A few others like that. I looked at your character sheet. I'm like, oh, I see. That's what your last name is. The parentheses part.
So I can tell we're going to have a very serious role play where we're going to keep really close eye on like how much weight everyone's carrying and how long it's been since we've eaten, stuff of this nature.
Yes, absolutely. This is we're actually I've sort of like been hiding this. I'm actually running this as an OSR campaign. People, everyone here, but when we start, is going to have to make at least 3 Constitution checks to determine whether they die just at the beginning of the session.
We have to roll for all our orifice circumferences to try to get out of character creation.
This is not fatal. We're not pulling a fatal here. Okay, it's an OSR.
I'm sorry. Every time I just have to bring it up at every opportunity.
I just like the idea. It's like, okay, breathing is now an active thing you have to roll for every 6 seconds or so.
Oh, boy.
Or else your character
I'm
dies.
in trouble.
I love manually breathing.
It's like Who's Lila, but just even more agonizing and less interesting.
Chad Swozzle got a 19 to breathe.
Oh, he's so good at breathing. Everybody
geez.
loves Chad Swozzle's breathing.
He is such he's the embodiment of swazzling, as a verb there. But
Swazzling, to breathe well.
all right. So everyone take a deep swazzle here as we set the stage here, because I'm trying to do something a little bit different with Shardpoint. I want to open up the tapestry a little bit here, kind of bring us into what's happening here. So here's my little opening spiel to get us in here. There are many locations that we have explored in the seasons of Dice Funk, from Akamoros, Lorelei, Grendel to Valentine, and many more. And today we revisit a familiar vista located in a canyon between Shonash Point, Mykonos, and the Tiger Mountains, near magically laced minerals found within the surrounding natural walls. Shardpoint Academy. In the past, we have learned many things about the nature of Shardpoint, from its enigmatic headmaster to the strange operations of its many doors, and the myriad of fascinating individuals to be found amongst the faculty and students. Today, we peer in as an important deadline looms, the end of a century. One tradition surrounding this occasion is a sharing of knowledge amongst the varied institutions around the world. The format of this knowledge sharing is done through the gathering of century books, catalogs of information, discoveries, notable events, and various curiosities over the past 100 years. Each institute of learning is meant to provide their own century book, with consequences for those who do not comply. With the deadline looming, the first goal will be to retrieve Shardpoint's Century Book to deal with final preparations, hopefully without any significant complications. And so, we open on the campus of Shardpoint Academy itself. Each of your characters are out and about doing their own thing, not really aware of what is about to happen to them. So, let's just go about and kind of set the stage of what each of your characters kind of doing on their own terms. Who would like to paint their picture to start the campaign?
Chad Swozzle is putting together his fantasy rally ball team. He's setting the lineup. He's got all the inside picks.
So Fantasy Roll, can you tell me just a little bit about how Fantasy Roll works in this case here?
So I assume we have other fantasy sports in our universe, but
Sure.
rally ball is their kind of violent soccer that we invented in a one-shot, like, oh my lord, 3 years ago or something. It's basically you're trying to put a ball in a net, but you can use swords on people.
Right. So it's like Blood Bowl, but more soccer adjacent, I'm guessing, in that respect.
It kind of is Blood Bowl soccer. But this is the sport Chad Swozzle is obsessed with. I kind of my whole idea for this character was most wizards have to rely on their intelligence as their spellcasting ability, and that kind of leads to a very homogenous wizard, a very nerdy tomes and towers kind of wizard. But what if my wizard was smart in a different way? What if he was only smart about sports? That's Chad Swozzle's thing. So
right.
He's like Tony Romo for those who are familiar with the NFL. Like, he can see a play coming from a mile away. It doesn't mean he's good at the sport. he would never win a playoff game.
I'm assuming that's your best friend, Nito Moro, you know? Yeah.
So where he's somewhere with his buds, with his crew, his boys, and he's like, you idiots! He's gonna be injured this game. You would never start him. I'm gonna put in this obscure player in my fantasy lineup, and you're all gonna rue the day.
Chad, listen, okay? You always pull these rookie gambits, and even though you're right every time you do it, you can't keep getting away with it, okay?
You didn't watch the tape, the magic tape, which I guess in this universe is a kind of a scroll that shows the gameplay. I've been looking at the scrolls. You ignoramus. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, fine. Okay, do you want to make this interesting? Do you want to put some money on it? Want to put some lunch money on it?
Oh, now I have to decide if he's an inveterate gambler. What a crossroads to give this character one scene in. I think it's only fair. I think this kind of guy, oh man, Skitch and I, we need to record a podcast about what betting has done to American sports sometime.
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it. Hate every bit of it. But yeah. But,
sponsored by DraftKings.
Yeah. Chad Swozzle, sponsored by DraftKings. Yeah, he's going to take the action. He thinks this new hot rookie, Dick Buttkiss, is really going to pay off. Everyone's laughing because they think that's a funny name I made up and not
a real name.
Incredible football player who really existed.
No. No, you've done. I mean, listen, your friends know you've done your DD with respect to this. Your deep dive on or deep dicking, if you want to say. But anyways, the point being is that they know that you are someone who is willing to put your money where your mouth is because of how confident you are. And to be fair, you've had a tendency to be way more right than anyone would expect you to be. As you've sort of noted on your character sheet. I love your character sheet, by the way. You're just like, what's your ideal? You have 110%.
Mine has a lot of sports references, so I feel like all sports fans know the most stereotypical answer to any question a reporter asks you on the sidelines is, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to give 110% every time, every down, give 110%.
You'll be like, I don't know, they had us in the first half there, but,
But yeah. I use the character sheet as an excuse to make more jokes because I wasn't loved as a child. So,
well,
it's like, is that you or is that Chad or is that yes?
Yes.
So anyways, as you are, putting the money on the line and such there in the middle of the table where all these charts are set up, you got your sabermetric stuff going on here, which is of course metrics written out on swords so that you always have your charts with you on hand.
Incredible. How did I not think of sabermetrics? Oh, that's such a good joke. That's the flavor of my sword burst cantrip is sabermetrics.
Yes. Austin, this is why you keep me around, I think. Maybe.
I'm genuinely upset I didn't think of that.
I just thought of that on the spot right now. Okay, so I didn't even plan for that. The point is that in the middle of the table, a little hatch opens up, and popping up from there is, of course, a weasel familiar with a little snappy vest on there. Of course, this is the familiar for the headmaster, Jamarius Jenkins Jollygood, or JJJ.
Yeah.
And as they make their presence known, they spot you, make a little beeline to you, and then kind of fish out of their pocket like a little note and place it in front of you.
I take the note. I just double checked. I have a 0 in animal handling. So Chad is going to have a neutral response to the ferret. I have had some characters in Shardpoint one-shots absolutely lose their minds in this creature's presence. I'm going to try something a little different this time as he takes the paper and he says, you want in on the bet, little man? You want some of this action? And then I check the note and it's like, damn, it's not a bet.
No, the note will, as you take the note and look at it, it like enlarges back to full size in your hand, and it simply just indicates that it's a summons to go see the headmaster Orrin Waite in his office at your earliest convenience.
All right, I will do that. I also note that I have to give Dick Buckus a fantasy name, so he's actually Butt Dickus.
Butt Dickus is
flawless.
Is fantastic, you know. Is your fantasy team name No Butts About It? Is that what it is?
It is now, definitely.
There you go. So with that little characterization moment taken care of, who wants to paint their own tapestry next?
Well, if we're out here on the field, I suppose it stands to reason for Phyrlass, captain of the cheer squad, to be out here with her modified Gakaron, black pleated skirt, and large Owendon flag that reads "Go Butts" upon it at the moment.
I don't know. It'd be interesting for you to be a cheer squad specifically for Chad's fantasy rally ball team. That's very funny, though.
Not the.
I mean, we're out in the area, and that's happening over there on the side. Maybe we're actually taking things seriously.
It's like Chad to try to work up a grassroots movement for support for his fantasy team. But we should establish, what is Shardpoint University's mascot? What is their sports team's symbol?
That's a good question. I had not thought of that, and I feel that is a great question for you all to kind of throw out ideas for.
I think it should be like the stupidest team mascot you can think of, which for me is just like a giant Shardpoint crystal with googly eyes and a mascot costume, like black sleeve, leg limbs.
So there's actually precedent for that style of mascot, because that reminds me of the Stanford mascot, which Stanford does not have a mascot because their logo is a tree. So instead, the pep band at Stanford will make a mascot. We'll have one of its band members make a mascot each season. So every season there's a different homemade design for it here. Let me see if I can get here. I got an example picture to share with you all, just to make sure that you understand what they're dealing with here. This is an example of what
yes.
It looks like there.
Beautiful. So, exactly the kind of costume I was thinking of, but a crystal.
So yeah, the Shardpoint crystals is definitely a team possibility. My serious suggestion was going to be the Shardpoint Sphinxes or something, because they're knowledgeable and there's the alliteration. Yep. But that's not funny.
That's also a very Magic the Gathering thing to suggest there. It's just I see. We're coding Shardpoint as blue, so we got to give it Sphinxes as the iconic. If it was red, then maybe dragons, but
Yeah, I feel like we're a bunch of chuckle fucks, so it's got to be Christine the Crystal is our mascot.
Christine the Crystal is a good mascot, and I think another point that I like to take from the Stanford thing is that there's no established design for Christine. It's just that each year, whoever is playing as Christine makes the costume, because, of course, that plays into their academic studies in terms of costume design and such. So, the best and the worst cosplayers have all had their chance of being Christine the Crystal.
All right.
So, Phyrlass, what are you doing with your crew out there in the field? What are you practicing? What routines are you doing,
Well, at the moment, the cheer squad is comprised primarily of 3 individuals at the head of the lead team, while others are more in more conventional thought, more cheerleadery types, or the mascots or the brass are over there doing their thing. Mm-hmm. The leader squad is over here shouting out very boisterous words of encouragement as well as direction, because Phyrlass is not just a person who yells a lot and gives people encouraging thoughts. She is, in fact, someone who gets into the middle of all things and can lead the charge in her own manner. And she is not hesitant to do so either. And that's why she is in the leading position.
Would you mind giving me a performance check to just see how much of a attention grabber you are being at the moment there?
All right, let me remember how you do this in this tabletop. Is it just like /R, 1D, whatever?
Yep, /R, yeah, /R, D20 plus 9 in your case.
All right, 13. Not super into it right now, but not embarrassing.
Listen, listen. This is the drill portion here. You're going to be doing this for an extended period of time normally. So, like, if you are not careful, you might hurt yourself. So you're not going all out in there. Mm-hmm. Still,
yeah. There's an assortment of shouts. She's moving into various deliberate dance postures that involve a hand fan that also, when she flicks her wrist in a certain manner, opens up into a pom-pom. In her other hand, she's holding the flag, which has a spear tip on the end. And there's just this strange but very compelling dance of various flowing implements between that which she's holding and her uniform.
I think one other fun detail, which we can talk about a little bit later on, or we can add it now, is that, like, one detail about Phyrlass that I thought was interesting that we landed on is the fact that she is probably, of the characters in our crew here, the most senior, by the fact that she is not just like a regular student per se. Is that correct to say?
Right. You and I had been speaking about this, and we had concluded that what was the wording here? I'm not actually educated.
She's a doctoral candidate.
Doctoral candidate. There we are. Thank you.
Yes. So, like, she's working on her doctorate in this particular field, to say the least. Which we'll see how that plays out if it's relevant at all. But I just think it's very funny to have the idea of, like, someone who's part of the cheer squad who actually is, like, postgraduate research into the field, to say the least.
Like, no. Do not underestimate.
So as you are out there with the cheer squad doing what you do, is it I forget the name of the name now of our mascot now. Is it Chrissy?
Christine the Crystal?
Christine, yeah. So Christine the Crystal runs up to you out of formation, which will probably catch your attention.
That does catch the attention. This isn't necessarily a problem, but usually you want to signal if you're going to improvise.
Yes. In this case here, the circumstance is a little weird because basically out of the gaping mouth of Christine the Crystal, the weasel JJJ can be seen. And as soon as they get close enough, JJJ like bounds out and like latches onto like the fan for a moment before doing the similar gesture that he did with Chad and produces a note for you to read, which upon opening will reveal the same request to meet the headmaster in his office.
So Phyrlass is just going to kind of like hold her posture. She had her hand like out and had the fan closed, pointing forward when the weasel just kind of climbs aboard, at which point she will stop, skip a beat, and then just shout, "Hold!" And everyone will go into a posture where their hands are folded behind their backs. And she'll do that with the other hand planting the flag into the ground, but she will observe the missive.
Yeah. And like I said, the missive itself is simply the headmaster of Shardpoint Academy, Orin Waite, requests your immediate presence in his office for an urgent matter, is what it says. There's no further details provided.
Understood. She'll state very plainly without... Well, not plainly exactly, but she'll state very directly without hesitation. Excuse me.
At that point, JJJ like bounds off of the tip of the fan back into Christine's mouth. And then Christine moves to get into position accordingly for hold as requested. So with that, we got 2 left. Eclair or Ashley Simpson III, no relation. Who wishes to take the stage next?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
So Ashley is currently laying on his back on a picnic table where other students are talking over him as if he's not there. He is slowly but surely strumming his lyre. He's playing discordant chords, of course, very slowly, arrhythmically. He is thinking about the results of the recent theater club presidential election where he was once again elected vice president, whereas he wanted to be president, losing out once again to Lucian, who is just one name, the president of the theater club. It's just having generally overly emotional, melodramatic thoughts and playing his lyre.
That is definitely a sad moment there. I would assume that Lucian isn't anywhere nearby, is he?
No, Lucian is he would not be near Lucian at this point.
Yeah. So like the people around you are not paying attention to your chords. You're probably just staring vacantly into the sky as you strum along on there. And the main thing that'll draw your attention away from that is not the 2 like peers that get into a little bit of a tussle, one of whom gets like not really thrown on the table on the table, but like bumped up against it and such. But it's the realization that your lyre suddenly has like a palm mute applied across the entire thing that you did not like place on there.
Well, I'm going to react very negatively to that. Ashley's going to pull it away and stand up at attention and then aggressively strum it in their face.
Oh, sure. But as you do that, you will see that the reason why your lyre has a palm mute on is because the weasel JJJ is laying across it after having climbed onto the table out of the pocket of the person who was knocked upon it there, basically. They were somehow transported by another student's pockets onto there. And so you see the probably familiar vested weasel, familiar from the Headmaster, clutching onto the lyre as you move to strum it more aggressively, as it sort of like swings about as if it's like a little trinket on it.
As soon as my arm makes contact with JJJ, I drop the lyre and cowardly standing about like a housewife in like a 1950s like Bugs Bunny cartoon.
JJJ does like a little bit of like a weasel, like a little bit of a war dance around the lyre before, again, making the motion to produce a little note out of its vest pocket, placing it delicately in the lyre, and then stepping back before the note like enlarges back to full size before your eyes.
Oh, yeah, did we mention before that this mustelid has a vest on? That's very important. Okay.
Extremely important. We know he has a vest.
I assumed it was a magical pocket.
Well, no, there is a magical pocket going on there, but there's also other things that JJJ can do. Basically, the general canon is that JJJ has the ability to sort of get anywhere that he wants on campus through an inexplicable series of tubes and other mechanisms that are in place, and sometimes mascots, I guess.
Geez, I want to see the pneumatic network that the ferret flies through.
This is really what this show is about. We're just kind of set dressing for the tube stuff.
Yeah.
Logistics.
So, but as you see the note there, like you see a note with that is written out like on there to Ashley Simpson III, no relation, urgent, please read now. Sorry if this makes this sound dire. It kind of is, but not dire enough for you to panic. Please don't panic. I swear, if you panic, I'm going to feel miserable.
Did Quinn write this?
All right. Well, Ashley, of course, starts sweating profusely. First, he's going to wipe off all the spots the weasel was on the lyre before grabbing the note.
All right. And the note is, as stated by the others, just saying, like, please report to the headmaster's office promptly for an urgent matter. And it'll even add in parentheses, you are not in trouble. I promise. Also, apologies for the method of delivery. I'm wrapped up with things, so I had to relegate message delivery to JJJ. Also, JJJ does not mean to offend you. He's just doing his best. I apologize on his behalf and my own. Orin, wait.
Oh my God, what's up with this guy? He needs to up his medicine.
All right. Yeah, this, despite all the reassurances, this just makes Ashley even more nervous. And
Perfect.
he starts, like, nervously strumming the lyre. Slightly out of tune now that the weasel's been about it. So it's much more enjoyable for everyone around.
And I'm pretty sure that as Ashley Simpson III starts heading off, we could probably understand why there was a person that was like thrown up on the table earlier. Eclair?
Oh yeah, Eclair. So Eclair is kind of maybe you might say like a leader of a delightful little group of people that kind of go around the school and, kind of throw their weight around.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you a bully?
Uh-huh.
I'm a bit of a bully. I'm a bit of a delinquent.
Sarah, villain.
A little bit. Villain. Yeah. I remember. I loved how, like, there's two details I find very fun. Three details. One, that the character art you put up for Eclair has a pompadour because, of course.
Like, I gotta.
You gotta. I also like explicitly how you put down your gender as just butch. That is a very good image there. But also just like, yeah. So what is Eclair doing right now? Why? What is happening?
So like you said, this guy got thrown on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine what was happening is that me and my girls, me and my little squad, I'm thinking of calling them something like the dessert dames, because Eclair is obviously like a food, but it's also because she is an Aasimar with like kind of like a lightning like lineage behind her. So it's like it literally means lightning. So like she like threw this guy over the table and it's just like, you ain't gonna mess with my gang any other time this year or any other. And like when she snaps, like there's a little bit of an electrical discharge. She's kind of constantly static, I think, is her like celestial energy going on here.
I love how naturally bullying comes to you, Sarah. You really sound like someone who's taken a lot of people's lunch money.
Like the person in question is just sort of like shivering. It's like, okay, so I can mess with you after a certain number of years pass by, or is there a statute of limitations here, or is this just like a permanent type of deal here?
It's gonna be the number of years that you have left to live. Afterward, you'll be fine.
I see. Well, let's see. I got about another 300 left in me if I play my cards right. Maybe more. Sure. Yeah, sure thing. Sorry. And they sort of stumble back off the table and just sort of just run off.
Now, statute your limitations.
Yeah. As they do so, you catch out of the corner of your eye someone that you know in particular. It is a tiefling that sort of looks over your way, lets out an exasperated little sigh, and then starts to just sort of walk off as if like they don't want to pay too much attention to you. If you want to do anything about this individual or describe them, you're more than welcome to, but...
Yeah, like, I don't have the greatest mental image for the tiefling yet, but definitely, like, probably, like, a girl, like, in my same year, and, like, as she walks off, like, you can imagine she walks off, like, with that sigh, and, like, it's very obvious she's not, like, going to, like, implicate or, like, start a fight or anything, but Claire is still gonna be like, yeah, you better run! Get out of here!
I think she's like walking more than running, boss.
I know when I can tell she's got that fear in her eyes.
Sorry, learning that Eclair means lightning just sent me down a rabbit hole. Apparently, they were only invented 200 years ago. I assumed this was like caveman France stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. They're very recent pastries.
So named because it is quickly eaten in a flash.
I'm so happy that like my offhand suggestion that I wasn't entirely serious about has landed so well with everyone here.
I mean, listen, it's evocative, and also we have trivia tied to it there. Oh no,
I put a picture of JJJ while he's off the clock in the chat.
Oh, he's relaxing.
It's a ferret wearing a little bathrobe for everyone to enjoy.
But yeah, like after Eclair and her girls take out the trash, like they're just gonna like West Side Story snap their fingers and like head back to their little like haunt that they hang out at like between classes.
Like, so what does this little hangout spot have in there? Any particular features and such?
There's a couple of training dummies because, like, as a fighter and like I imagine like at least 2 other like girls here, like we're all like making sure that we keep our fighting skills honed because I'm an Eldritch Knight. I'm sure those 2 have their own thing going on too.
Yeah. So here's a fun thought. Maybe you're in a situation where they kind of let off some steam. Could you, for example, just like try to hit one of your training dummies? I just want to see how that goes.
Yeah, let's see how well I can actually do that.
So in D&D schools, do friend groups group around classes? So there's like fighter clique, bard clique, monk clique instead of like music?
There's it actually is, there's 2 sides to that. So there are the traditional like dormitories that are relegated by different classes if they were doing more immersive learning on those specific disciplines. So for example, the Druid dormitory is sort of like a nature preserve-esque corner of one of the areas and stuff like that. So there are things like that. But in addition to that, because, you know, multidisciplinary education, i.e. multi-classing exists, as well as non-combative sort of things exist, yes, there are also cliques that are more interest-based rather than like function-based. All right. So that's a 14 on that attack roll there. Easily hits it. I imagine, because of how extra you all are, that one of your this training dummy has like eyes that pop out of their socket if you hit it hard enough, just kind of let you know you really laid it in on there.
Like a wolf that's seen a sexy lady?
More like little like there's toys where like you got like a little ball you squeeze and just like pops it out there. It's just like it's just a resounding pop.
Like
but anyways, yeah, like a stress toy type thing. One of the eyes pops out entirely, leaving like a cavity behind. And after the dummy writes itself out, a weasel pokes his head out of the eye hole there, and it's JJJ delivering a message to you from inside your secret hideout, effectively.
Man, I'm gonna grab this note, but I gotta say, whatever your boss man's gotta say to me, like I barely hurt that guy. That shouldn't warrant like detention.
There's like a curious blink or two from JJJ before he does like a little lap or 2 around the head of the dummy before skittering off it back into the eye hole whence he came, and any examination there reveals that there's nothing left behind. So
if we could get that tube technology, we could get anywhere we wanted to in this school. That would be sick as shit.
So with those messages delivered, depending on how you want to arrive or otherwise, the next thing we'll find ourselves is everyone arriving at and being invited into the office of the headmaster of Shardpoint Academy, the gnome, arcane trickster, divination wizard. I forget what level he is, but it's something that's close to 20, if not outright 20. But here's the fun question. Who is the last person to arrive?
Oh, definitely not me.
I think Chad Swozzle is a first to arrive, last to leave kind of guy. You got to give 110%.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like
Oh.
it's a mix up between like, does Eclair show up last because she doesn't want to deal with this, or does Ashley arrive last because he's filled with anxiety?
that's what's coming to me too. I think that I'm probably going to be walking in what can be described as a trudge, and I'm also, a halfling, so I'm quite smaller. So I imagine that the movement rate and the pace means I probably show up last.
So if Chad Swozzle gets there first, he thinks it's a meeting just for him and says, "Hey, coach, is this about my grant for the sports potion? I really think if we add more electrolytes, I think we're going to start seeing some real differences in the performance."
Chad, we can talk about your saltwater schemes at a later time. Listen, it's
made from real gators.
listen, I also know that you want to make a variant for the other schools and call it Haterade. I think that's very clever marketing for the sporting event. However, the matter we have at hand is a little bit more important than that at the moment. You have to trust me on that.
At that moment, a cerulean drow just bursts through the door and does a flip over Chad, landing in a pose of salute. Phyrlass, reporting.
Chad Swozzle doesn't sit down. He does a kind of squat. When you're running out there in the field, your coach says the air's up here. Don't collapse on the ground. You have to be up here where the air is. I never understood what they meant by that. That's just a thing that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, Phyrlass is just going to stand off to the side with her arms folded behind her back, just basically at attention, ready at any moment, just standing there in her uniform, though the carpet is not playing nicely with the heels of her thigh boots.
Excellent. I'm just gonna fucking bust that door open and just be like, all right, what is it this time?
You're not in trouble this time, Eclair. This is a different matter. I don't even have the write-up forms here. Okay, so none of that is happening today. I swear.
Okay. All right.
But please have a seat. We still have one more that is yet to arrive.
I will take a seat, at which I will just sit in the most disrespectful way possible.
What is the most disrespectful way to stand?
The artist cannot depict this. It is too disrespectful. It's not lewd. It's just.
I feel like the way is when you put the chair in front of you and you put your legs around it, like a camp counselor who wants to talk shop with people. That's got to be the most disrespectful way to sit.
So I had to step away to clear my throat, and I come back to what's being described as rude, not lewd, and I'm like, oh, is Eclair doing the delinquent squat?
Yeah, I was literally trying to find a picture of a Sukuban doing the squat.
Yeah, that's the
that
squat,
sounds about
but
right.
on the chair.
Squat.
Yeah, you're popping a squat on top of the chair, just like.
I'm glad I've already got
like
the
that.
energy of your character down.
Yeah. Ashley, how do you make your entrance?
Well, I have to imagine you guys can slowly hear the sound of me strumming my lyre get louder as you guys are talking or being talked to. And then I will open the door and say, "Greetings, peers." And then immediately start playing the lyre again, make no eye contact, and not address anyone.
What's up, bro? Try to dap him up.
Welcome!
I stare at the fist being offered for a dab, and I'm just slowly back away from it. And then I play a
Damn, bro.
Yeah, and then I play a major chord in response to the welcome.
That hurts, bro.
It's okay, all right. Thank you for making your way here, Ashley. All right, so first things first. Hopefully, as my note indicated, this is an urgent matter, but nothing that involves any one of you individually being in trouble or any sort of implication. It's just that we have a situation that requires some attention, and as usual, I am wrapped up in administrative things, leaving me incapable of handling the matter myself. And so I must graciously request some assistance from you all.
Got to delegate, coach. I get that.
Exactly.
Leader squad stands prepared to do what needs to be done.
Excellent attitude.
Listen, I get why you'd want my skills. I'm just like, this is really gonna take up my time with the girls unless you tell me a little bit more about why I should care. So I want to hear that.
Valid point. Any objections, Ashley?
The theater club never turns down a performance.
Excellent. So, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this, but one thing that we do every 100 years as a tradition here is the production of a book chronologuing the past 100 years of happenings here at Shardpoint Academy. And it is close to time for us to deliver this century book to the collective of other institutes. The reason why I'm calling you all here is that the members of the Century Book Club, as it were, are either graduated, off in other affairs, or have engaged in permanent true polymorphism. Good for them in all respects. But the point being is that I need some hands to help retrieve the Century Book so we can do final checks and make sure things are as they should be with it.
Yeah, we got to do that. Last time the Century Book wasn't complete, didn't we get shut out by Lorelei A&M?
It's more dire than that, since technically that put us on a century-long probation. And if we do not retrieve the book and have it properly in order, they will do more than whip us at the international competitions. They will strip our ability to even participate because we will be disallowed from being an institute in the first place.
Damn, that is worse than losing.
An unacceptable outcome. We will not allow it.
I play a minor chord.
It's a shame you've already spoken, because I'm like, maybe you should just commit to only
it's going to mostly be chords. I'm not going to lie.
It's like, I don't care too much about this place, but I know my girl Candy is trying to get a master's, so like, I guess I can't let it become uninstitutioned.
I'm also sure that your parents would not be approving of you not being at a place like this. And let's be honest, we are a lot more permissive about your antics than some other institutes would be.
Oh, yeah, I know. You don't have to remind me.
My parents will send me to Ilium Tech. Please, don't let the school close.
Ilium Tech,
there are a bunch of nerds there. I hate it.
Yes, and before they used to have this amazing program in place where you would enroll but never graduate. It was a weird system, but it meant the numbers never went down year after year. So I guess that is one way of succeeding. But
plus, they're in the ACC. I mean, like, come on, play a real sport.
Yes. We're not like, I was trying to think which conference we want to spoof on. The MAC deal. I'm trying to think of like
yeah, just jokes for just me and you.
Jokes for just us. This is but yes. So Oren's like, now the biggest issue at play here is that since I don't have a good record of any active members of the Century Book Club on hand, finding where it's stowed away is the main concern here. One of the things that we pride here at Shardpoint is our vast arrays of doors that are in fact portals to other locations. And a number of them are fairly fixed, clean portals, what you expect. However, because the Century Book Club had a variety of members all over campus, they decided it was a good idea to have their door move around campus so that they didn't have to travel as far to get to it. They were very keen on efficiency, given the fact that this is a 100-year-long venture.
Yeah, you got to send the receiver in motion. I got it. We'll get them.
And you got to pass by the door with anticipation, obviously, timing and everything else. So here I have some information here. So Oren reaches under the desk, pulls out like a large map of the school with several little things circled around it and such. If anyone wants to investigate the map of the school and the like, you're welcome to do history, investigation, nature, or survival check looking at the map of the school and the markings on it there.
12 on investigation. It's kind of like seeing a play, X and O's, Madden style.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Exactly there.
What did you say the roll options were?
History, investigation, nature, or survival. Any of those.
I'm going to go with survival because that's the only one that's not -1.
Hey,
I
that's
think
fine.
literally all those options are the same, like +1 for me. So I'm just gonna go. Let's go
Sure.
with the investigation.
Okay. And I got a 16 from Phyrlass, and I got a 15 from Eclair. Ashley, do you have any one of those skills you want to roll for me?
I guess I would do I mean, they're pretty much all the same, so I guess I would do investigation as well. So
Fair.
Oh,
oh boy.
oh, that's bad.
All right.
You played a
So-
secret chord and it displeased the Lord.
I was going to say the
Yeah, it's on
lyre
brand.
gets replaced with a tiny violin.
So we have our first natural one of the session. Amazing. I am going to put that in my back pocket for later.
Oh, good.
Oh boy.
So effectively, because the group succeeds in investigating the map, we had like the DC was basically just 10. We have a 12, 16, 15, and a natural 1. So the party's going to succeed. So what happens is that while looking over the map, what you're able to notice is not only markings of where the doors are, but even some loose indications of timestamps as it goes along. And perhaps a little bit of time investigating this, or maybe even looking through some other bits of information, you might be able to figure out when the door is going to be at the right place at the right time to investigate accordingly there.
Phyrlass is going to speak up in this moment. I have interacted with the Century Book Club previously. My mentor and predecessor was featured prominently in one of the pages, and I was I managed to also be of benefit in that particular entry. I have seen their patterns, and I am confident that I can find it again with this information.
Yes, about that. That's the reason why I had to bring you specifically, Fearless. Normally, in this situation, we would have a bona fide faculty member leading the charge. However, your mentor is otherwise indisposed and unavailable for this, and thus I felt it was appropriate to bring along the second most knowledgeable person about the topic in hand. That would be you in this case here.
Understood.
We haven't said this explicitly, but we're all students, right? And some Shardpoint
Yes.
one-shots we play as faculty members, depending on the adventure. But we are all students. I am, of course, majoring in sports medicine, naturally.
I'm a student that's probably not majored in anything. I'm doing fighting because like Eldritch Knights get some magic and stuff, but I can still be a tough bitch. But I have never decided on anything yet.
I'm majoring delinquency, okay?
Yeah.
With a minor in crochet, all right?
It's kind of just the Van Wilder thing.
Yeah. And Ashley, I'm not sure like how far you would describe yourself like along the line. I tend to view this thing as like it goes anywhere from like high school to postgraduate. So there's a lot of permissibility in terms of being a student.
Right. So I listed my age as 17, but we could always change that right now.
In the D&D universe, there's people who live for 40 years, and there's people who live for 50,000
Yeah,
years.
true
So
enough. Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Right. It's more like, it's more that your character is just, it's like so we would consider yourself kind of like not a graduate student, right? You're still pursuing some pursuit of sorts.
Yes. The theater.
The theater. Yes.
The theater.
I also noticed that in your personality trait, you put down catastrophizer as one of your character
no.
personality traits.
Yes. Yes. Are you not familiar?
No. I just like the sound of
Okay.
it. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
I feel
Boy,
like this is going
howdy.
to end with us. This is going to end with all of us today standing around, Ashley putting a hand on your shoulder, being, "Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?"
We're just going to have
I'll be repulsed by the human touch, probably.
this campaign's going to conclude with the Evangelion ending.
Yeah, we're all
Oh,
going to
yeah.
clap.
I could be Shinji. I could be Shinji.
You could be. but maybe not. But anyways, but Owen's like, all right, well, in any case, I have to leave this all in your very, very capable hands. Is there anything else you would like from me to assist in this matter? As he says, this JJJ kind of returns back to the desk from, one of the tubes connected to it. Behind Orrin is this array of tubes kind of extending out. It's sort of kind of small. It's got even more elaborate somehow in the past, however long he's been here.
So I think Eclair wants to ask our dear headmaster, just like, okay, so if you want my help, I'll give my help. How much can I rough someone up if I need to, and before it becomes a problem? Like, are you giving me some leeway with that? Because I can solve a lot of problems with my swords.
I know you can solve a lot of problem with the swords. However, I have a fear that if... The big thing here is that we have to be very discreet about it, because what happened last time was that when the Sentry Book was retrieved, the people who were transporting it drew a lot of attention to themselves, and there was a lot of senior pranks that were executed at the same time. 3 separate factions at the same time. One of them wanted to swap the book with a different one. One of them wanted to tear out the pages and eat them. For some reason, and one of them invented the idea of an automobile simply to park it on top of park it in front of the door where the Sentry Book was being held. It didn't even work. They built an engine and everything, but they didn't have the means to propel it. I don't know where they came up with that idea from, but I want to keep things as discreet as possible, hence my trying to keep things laying low. We can't afford for this to create another incident. It will look bad on the school, it will look bad on me, and it will, to be fully honest, it will cause a lot of fallout for everyone that is here, and I do not have any anticipations that I do not have any plans or aspirations for putting anyone through that. So
I mean, you can count on me, Coach. I'll get the book back, but I was curious if you were going to fast track my request for human testing for my sports potion.
We can discuss that once we have an idea of the status of the book and where things are, because, like I said, if we don't pull it off, we won't be able to procure the funding or the test subjects for such an endeavor. And as someone who's had friends who try to do testing on the down low, one, you get not great subjects, and secondly, it makes it very difficult for your product to be approved to be on shelves. Extensive unauthorized testing does not read well on products on the shelves, as far as I know. So we need to make sure that we maintain our academic status so we can do things correctly for you, Chad.
It's just brominated vegetable oil. What's the worst that could happen?
I think I'll go all right, discreet, on the down low, all right, non-lethal, whatever, and adjust my awesome spiked jacket, which is how I'm interpreting my spiked armor, which specifically gives me disadvantage on stealth. So we'll see how discreet goes.
Oh, they removed the flame retardant from Gatorade. I was referencing there used to be a ingredient in Gatorade that was very toxic, but apparently the FDA took it out.
Oh,
Cowards.
wow.
I think bromated vegetable oil is still in some variants of Mountain Dew.
Awesome. I'm literally recording this 5 minutes away from the laboratory where they invented it. At University of Florida.
That's right. Yeah. That's why it's Gatorade. It's because
The Florida Gators.
Yeah. But Orin looks to Ashley and Phyrlass to determine if there's anything that you two request from him, resource or otherwise, to go forth in this endeavor.
I'm confident in my abilities.
I start playing Greensleeves.
I'll edit that in post, and also you won't have talked over each other.
Thank you.
It'll sound so good.
We'll sound so smart and good in all this here. All that incriminating evidence I said earlier on will be just gone.
Oh, beautiful.
Excellent. So, I'm not going to force the issue here. So this way, it might be the first time the party does not take the weasel with them on the way out. So, which is fine.
I don't need a weasel. Like, I can get by without a little rat.
I was figuring that in your case you could do without being monitored.
Yeah, that little guy's got eyes everywhere. It gives a real damper to anything that me and the dames want to do.
JJJ is currently playing with like a little plush of Christine the Crystal, like on the desk there. It's like a little mascot plush there.
Oh, that's adorable. I will, of course, defer to Phyrlass as the head of the cheer squad. He has great respect for you. He knows that is actually the most dangerous sport, statistically.
Yes, actually.
Yes. That's also why anyone who goes into that sort of sports medicine is a prereq in order to go into the higher echelons of what I call kinesthetic studies, in effectively applied kinesthetic studies is what we do.
You also got the highest role, so
Yeah.
Yes. So with that being said, this leads us to our first, what we'd call like basically our skill challenge here is how do you go about finding the correct door to get into the Century Book Club facility?
Okay, so the map that we looked at, like it's had like the door like blinking in and out, and it has like timestamps from those.
Right. And kind of to answer, kind of alluding to Austin's point earlier, like there's all these different like hubs of different interest groups from different students and such. And so basically you can imagine the door kind of travels on a pattern between those areas. Now, the timestamps seem vague. They don't seem super precise, but it gives you an idea about like how the door travels. So if you want to propose a method of using just the map, if you want to case the campus in some way, if you want to shake down people,
Chad Swozzle can cast Detect Magic as a ritual to help. His magic focus is an orange plastic whistle on a rope around his neck. So he gives that a blast as he's looking around, and I can also roll investigation. That's an 18.
Ooh.
Fantastic. So, you can tell that the times written on the map are not in common per se, but they are basically done in effectively like glyphs, right? They're almost like glyphs of warding, glyphs of like warning and stuff like that. So these are glyphs of timing, effectively. And with some looking in there, you can almost see like, even though they're written on the map and they're not even on the door itself, you can kind of get like a signature on there. Obviously, the magic at play is conjuration, since we're talking about like teleportation and transporting and stuff like that in this case here. So, and most of the doors carry that signature because of their portal nature, but you could probably infer that there's something about specific doors that might have a different pattern that you can glean from if you were to investigate around.
Right. So that leads into my line of thought here, and hopefully I can make the argument for this effectively. So Phyrlass has indeed interacted with the Century Book Club as stated, and has in fact had personal contact with it before. So between her own memories and the observations of the information of the map and what Chaz has put forward, could I argue insight or perception to be able to just kind of discern that's the one?
It's a great question. I like it. Go ahead and roll me insight on this. So let's see what we get here. We'll kind of roll from there.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Natural 20. Fantastic. So what you can glean here is here's how I'm kind of pulling this out here. This is basically, I kind of call this like history via insight here. So with Chad kind of like pointing out like the timings of stuff like that, what you're able to kind of assess is sort of like the time of day it was when you visited the book club with your superior at the time, because you went there like as a pair.
Right.
This was, to be clear, years ago. Like, I'm thinking like at least a decade ago. But even so, you could kind of look at that, look kind of out the window and kind of like suss out from the motion of the sun and how it kind of like cuts through like one of the various crystals kind of set up around campus, what time of day it is. And it just so happens to be right around the same time that you visited. So you know which door it is, right, would be right now. So here's what you can tell me. Where on campus would you like this door to be that you're entering into these facilities?
Oh, I gotta go with the classic. Gotta enter one of the custodial closets.
Of course, there's several of those. So my question is, which custodial closet? What are the features
one for the pool.
nearby?
Oh,
Perfect.
interesting.
Do we get a
All
cameo from fan favorite janitor?
If we
which
can
one?
like helicopter
There's two
Dan
of them,
in
I
from
believe
above.
now. Well, I guess the thing about here is that because it is not night, we're dealing with Sparkles, I believe, is the janitor
I
in
forgot
question.
the other one was the night janitor. He only comes out at night.
Yeah. To be fair, Sparkles is also a fan favorite.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, which one? Because people liked Night Shift, which I proposed just to give the janitor a name for that Dan was playing as. But yes, so like with that, you all hurry off to the pool. May I request a team athletics check just to see how the hustle go?
Oh, you would think Chad Swozzle would be good at this, but alas, he is a wizard. 20! Never mind!
I got an 18.
I have a +1, rolled a 19. He's just clapping. He's like, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Dig deep, dig deep, dig deep.
Here's a funny thing. Most of my skills are like +1s or 0s. There's like 2 4s, 1 3, and then my athletics is a +7.
Ashley, okay, 14. And Phyrlass, what is your athletics check for this?
My strength is 0. I'm not adding my proficiency. I'm not supposed to add my proficiency to this, am I?
You have I see that you have a.
Oh shoot! I need to
marked on
actually
it.
like raise the numbers on my sheet. Whoops. I put that over in the slot, and I'm used to that like auto calculating since I'm not using beyond 20 for once, so that slipped under me. Whoops.
Sure. But go ahead. If you want to claim acrobatics instead, I will permit it.
Oh yes, please. That's
in your case.
That's definitely a better score for me.
All right.
Do we have fan art of Sparkles the janitor? I could have sworn I had it, but
Yes,
I don't
we
know
do.
where it is.
We
but,
have one somewhere.
I know that Leviathan did one a while back, so that's a 13. Okay, you all are fine. You all make haste because like you don't know how long this door will be the case. And like what's funny is that as you arrive to the pool, you can see walking out of the door being the I think was a goblin janitor.
Yes, he was a
Sparkles, I believe
They
was
were
the case?
goblin.
If Levi drew them, yes, they were a goblin.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They are a goblin. They are a goblin, and what they do what they normally do, which is magically remove graffiti and stuff from the walls and stuff like that. As they are very, very magically inclined as a janitor there, and you can see him exiting out of the door that you have sort of keyed onto, Fearless. So. He doesn't pay anyone much mind, but he's just like he steps out and is just sort of working on graffiti that is present near the pool, possibly graffiti that Eclair's gang has done.
Can I? This is mean. Can I like try to trip him into the pool before I go into the closet door?
Yes, commit to it, Sarah. Embrace your dark passenger.
All right, let's see. Okay, so in order for you to pull off the trip, I'll need you to just give me a strength check here.
Strength check? Okay.
Yeah, just give me a strength check here.
Oh, that was saving throw. Wrong thing.
That's fine. That's the same as doing a flat strength check in this case for what I want there. So that's a 10. All right. Let me pull up what I want to do in response to this here. See here. As you approach to do this here, as you approach and try to trip up Sparkles, that roll is perfect because you are going to be making a strength saving throw as he uses gust of wind to blow you back into the pool itself as he's bending over casually to just magic away some graffiti that is all around the perimeter of the pool.
Damn.
Just Eclair is fucking you have fucking dunked on her. Rip in peace. Also, lightning girl in the pool. I don't actually think that, this just came to me, but I don't think she knows how to swim. The pool's not deep, but she is going to flail around more than like a person should before she pulls herself out of there. Fucking Jesus Christ, man, you could have killed me.
Who is this Jesus Christ you speak of?
It's like a dog I found once, and he was perfect, and I loved him.
I'm going to say that Phyrlass will extend her spear haft first to help fish out the wayward delinquent.
She will grab your spear and not say thank you out loud, but she'll give a little nod, we will never speak of this again.
Chad Swozzle got to the door first with his 20 and is doing the arm motion that people in baseball do, which means keep going, run the base.
Yeah.
There's got to be a name for that.
Yeah, it's just you're just sending play. You're sending the runners home. Yes. So, well, in any case, there, I will say that with that being said, Sparkles just sort of acts like you aren't even there, Eclair, and then turns around and then moves to head off in a different direction than the door that he just exited. Though as he turns to pass, there is sort of a flick of tail, and you can feel yourself getting dried off quickly as sort of a precipitation washes over you to dry you off as he heads away.
I, Sarah, love Sparkles. Eclair's going to stick her tongue out at him before getting back to the task at hand.
Okay, so that encounter went by well. So you come up to a very unassuming janitorial door. Who is going to open it?
Phyrlass will do so.
All right. You open the door, and past this mundane-looking door is a humble-looking chamber. The walls feature a brick motif that seems older than they should be, and populating the room, among other things, is a large table in its center. A banner with Century Book Club! Is hanging on one wall, though the colors on it look quite faded. Strewn across the table are a variety of papers, writing utensils, knives, and adhesive for assembling what look to be drafts of pages for layout purposes. In addition, the walls are adorned in a variety of memorabilia, most of which have some degree of tarnish, dust, etheric cobwebs. There's also a variety of little bookshelves around the perimeter as well, as you all make your way into the room proper. Also, I forgot to mention, there is a door on the opposite side of the room from where you entered, and that is the only other obvious exit in the room at the moment.
All right, so I have a spell called Locate Object, which I assume isn't going to immediately solve our problem, but I'm just going to try to do it.
You won't know till you try.
Yeah,
Totally fair.
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you just kind of have to do so you can find out why it doesn't work. I can read this. Describe a name or an object. You sense the direction to the object's location as long as it was within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement. So I name the Century Book.
So one of the things you'll notice is, here's the tricky thing here. So with respect to it here, you say the Century Book. There is more than one Century Book in the facilities you're currently in.
Oh boy.
Because there is the prior ones that were made and are on the bookshelves in the room. And then there is the one that you're looking for, which by your read is at least on the other side of the door.
Oh yeah, it says the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind. So if there's multiple, I will, I guess, find the closest one, and then we'll start narrowing it down from there.
Yep. Right. So you get like a ping on like, oh, like there's like the century book from 2 centuries ago to your immediate left on the bookshelf, for example.
All right. Yeah. So the way this looks is I blow my little orange whistle, and I get a feeling it's over there, and I'm like, all right, come on, team, pick it up. And I run over to the shelf and start flipping through it. It's the wrong one. And I'm like, I got to call an audible on this one. I got to call an audible.
You got to call an audible, and you're going to have to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, balls. No, not my little guy.
Your little guy, yes, give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Do I get a bonus because it's his birthday? I'm just joking. 10.
10. I was looking for 15.
Oh, no.
So
you're a little guy.
You've uncovered one factoid about this room, and that is that the Century Book Club was full of people who, because of like the asynchronous way they would do stuff, would set up pranks on each other. So as you reach to grab the book, you trip a effectively collapsing roof trap. Though it's not the actual collapsing roof trap. What is instead is like various smaller books on the top of the bookshelf fall off as you pull the book off of it.
It's like a bucket of slime from Nickelodeon.
Wow, it does 9 damage to you as a couple of these books like clonk you on the head in rapid order there.
Okay, well, the kind of wizard Chad Swozzle is an abjuration wizard, aka a wizard who makes defensive and boosting spells. So I activate Arcane Ward to gain temporary HP equal to twice my level plus intelligence. So that's gonna basically I summon like an ethereal football helmet to block the books.
Listen, you take concussions very seriously, much more so than certain professional organizations.
Yeah. I've very studied the history of CTE very closely. I'm sure CTE in this universe is a funny acronym that everyone loves. But I came up with how quickly it was. Do you know why I'm an abjuration wizard, Skitch?
I don't know why you chose that, but please enlighten me.
I mean, offenses win games.
But defense wins championships. Yes, fantastic.
Hell
I
yeah.
love that like half of this session is just listening to you two like be little sports nerds.
Yep. Like this is exactly why I was all on board with Chad here, because I'm like, okay, we got the jockiest nerd possible here. Let's go. All right.
Well,
so
I did want to say while Chad's getting his head bonked, I did want to ask Fira, like, is it normal for Century Book Club's room to just like not be used for like dust accumulation years at a time?
I cannot speak to the habits of other clubs. I can only say that I was here previously, and at that time, there were individuals present, and there was functioning operation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well, if you want to discern what might be happening here, you're happy to look around. Is there any other details you want to look into?
Well, there was that door on the other end.
There is the door on the other end. That is true. Let me pull up here. Mm-hmm.
I actually want to. What would be the thing to check? Was this room like left like in a hurry, or is it just not been used in a while?
Just go ahead and give me like a perception check on that.
Perception check. That's a 7.
Yeah, from the looks of it, I even given like that result, it's like this is more like there's just people just kind of haven't been here for a while. It's not like they left in a hurry. It's just that they just haven't been here for a while, and things have sort of lingered out a bit here. Okay. Austin, what does that roll for?
I botched my concentration check to keep locate object because I got hit with a bunch of books in the head.
Yeah, that's true. So like, yeah, you lose, the spell fizzles out as you get bonked on the head, but at least you didn't take any actual damage. Your helmet got a little like clonked though.
Yeah, I had to maintain the honor. You didn't call for the concentration check, but I am a samurai who has a code.
Quick check. Could I gaslight Chad with a persuasion check to make him think he didn't get hit in the head with with the books and thus keep his spell?
Wait, what?
I appreciate the hustle there. I don't think it's going to work, but keep the gaslighting idea in your back pocket for later. I think that will be useful for something.
I like the idea of trying to trick someone into not thinking they got hurt.
Now, to be fair, I actually had a character concept for this a while back because I wanted to do like a hardcore solipsist where the trick was getting them to believe they actually took damage, and if they were stubborn enough, they don't actually take damage because they don't believe that other people even exist. So
That's kind of just the warden from 4th edition.
no, this is that you don't even believe that the other people in your party exist.
I see.
You don't believe that anything exists other than you.
Got it.
That's what I mean, like hardcore solipsism.
Okay, I've decided in this universe, CTE is chronic traumatic enchantment.
That's not bad.
That's a pretty good one there. I like it. Not bad. Full marks there. But yes. So I guess the other thing here is like, we have the table, we have like other trinkets on the wall, we have the door. Is there anything else that we want to look into before Phyrlass goes for the door?
Is there anything a passive 17 perception will pick up?
No.
Okay.
In this case here, because I will not allow passive perceptions to apply for the stuff that's going on here.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
The people who were in this club were big enough gremlins that they had accounted for that.
I can roll investigation. I don't think we have yet, correct?
Sure, you can roll out investigation. That's fine.
18.
Okay, what do you want to investigate in particular?
The table is an object that you have drawn attention to, so I'll check
Sure.
that one out.
So I'll give you two things. Number one, because that investigation check, you will avoid a net trap that was set up around the desk, like a harmless one, but like it's one of those things that with the tripwire being hit, like a net would fall on top of someone who is trying to like go to the table to do something there.
Fool me once, I make adjustments.
Yeah. But the big thing that you'll pick up on the table are a few notes, including one interesting idea. One thing here just listed: automatic sentry book update procedure.
All right, I'm going to share that with the class.
Yeah. Effectively, what it seems to imply is that this note is about like a decade or so out, and it basically is indications that someone within the club had discovered a way to automatically have information port into the Sentry book remotely through other yearbooks and other items in there. They had come up with some ritual to automatically take care of it, thus eliminating the need for people to manually be feeding stuff into the Sentry book proper.
Uh-oh. That's a recipe for disaster. That's how you get undergrads trapped in books.
So that would be at least an indication as to why things are might be so
It would make sense, yeah.
dilapidated here in that case there. With that, you've mentioned it before, this Phyrlass. I assume you're going straight for the door then at the back eventually?
Yep.
So, as you approach it, this is very funny that you're doing this here.
Oh, excellent.
Because as you approach, there's effectively like a little bit of like a floor mat in front of the door that says like storage. As you step on it, you can feel a pressure plate go down. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, so you're a drow. What do drow have when it comes to magically being put to sleep?
I don't think drow benefit from that in particular. I'd have to double check that one.
Let's just confirm in the species rules in this case here, because we are actually running with some 2024 characters in this group here. But I believe, yeah, magic cannot put you to sleep because you have trance as a species.
Oh, there we go.
So you stepped on what was effectively a sleep of ages trap. Chad will pick up on this rather quickly there. What it effectively does is, in this particular case, it casts a 9th level version of sleep on whoever steps on the pad there.
They never catch you napping.
Exactly. The idea being, of course, somebody tries to go in the back, falls asleep, and they fall asleep for long enough for other people to show up and ridicule them accordingly. The funniest thing being, of course, the person in the party who can't be put to sleep steps on it and nothing happens. So
Just from everyone else's perspective, there was nothing notable about this whatsoever.
yeah, I mean, like I said, Chad will notice that and be like, game recognizes game, of course, but like, you know.
Right. Yeah, Phyrlass is just kind of like, Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Door.
Yeah. So when you open the door, when you open the door, you are greeted with a new room. This room, let me go ahead and pull up my notes here because I have all the stuff written up here. As you look into the chamber, the words Sentry Book Storage are marked clearly upon the door on the other end. Along the walls are similar knickknacks and other sort of nostalgic aesthetic items as such, but in the center of the room are several constructs that stand dormant, looking almost like a terracotta warrior type of like arrangement, but at the same time just looking like just various mechanisms that have been in storage for years.
Are you saying they're yearbook golems? Is that what you're saying to me?
These constructs have like little labels that are like written on their chassis that indicate like menial tasks. So something like one of them has like, crystal gathering, crystal gatherer 1. Another one of them has like memory catcher 2 and things like that.
All right, if they seem like magical constructs, I guess Arcana 2. No, 25.
Sure.
Can't
Good
stop
gosh.
Chad.
Yep. You can tell that these were all made by members of like the Artificers sort of branch of the school. It's that branch of the school that like doesn't actually exist, at least officially by some people's standards, but everyone wants them to be there. So they just kind of exist on their own sort of terms there. But I assume that you're like, that you all kind of file into the room and you in particular are kind of examining the different golems, constructs, what have you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with 25, I just want to know what they do and if I can interact with them, presumably use them if they're useful, turn them off if they're dangerous.
Well, that's a very good point to bring up. As you're investigating through them, as you investigate, some of the mechanisms start to make noise and begin to move on their own. The ones that are moving, you can see, all have one particular phrase written on their chassis, which is Sentry Book Department of Security.
Fair enough.
Yes. So like, and basically you see like a 5 of them in this sort of array. So you have 2 that are autognome looking individuals, you have 2 that are animated armor, and you have like this big one here that sort of has big old arms to reach and grab things. If you want to give me an investigation, I can give you a little bit more information on how they're labeled.
Sure. 24.
Oh.
We are doing this in roll 20 for the audience. I'm not fudging these rolls.
No,
Everyone can
you were
see.
not.
Look at this.
Okay, so
Look at big boy Chad.
Yeah. So the 2 small, like in the back of the room, you see the 2 smaller autognome type entries. You can see them listed as Sentry Book. These are Sentry Book sentries. You have the animated armors that start to close in on you specifically, Chad, that are labeled as Sentry Book centurions. And then you have those single, what is known as, this case is a cogwork archivist that starts rolling out, and it has on it Sentry Book Sentinel written on it. Like,
Yeah, I love the wordplay there. I thought you were saying century already as a pun before, but
Oh, I just got it.
with my 25 and 24, I assume we're gonna have to fight these guys. But if there's any switches I can pop or pull before we roll initiative to help a little, that's what Chad tries to do.
I will give you advantage on initiative, though, Chad, though. So go ahead, roll me initiative, everyone, as we get ready for this here.
All right,
Team, form up!
I'll say Shardpoint crystals on 3. 1, 2, 3, crystals. 12.
Well, it saves you that natural 1 there. So we got a 16 from Eclair. We got a 12 from Chad, a 28 from Hannah, 20. Excellent. All right. So I got my initiative.
Let's see here. Was Eclair the 2?
Eclair, well, no. The Chad was rolling twice. So
I see.
He rolled a 12. So let me go ahead and roll initiative for these right now here. So, okay, so this is going to be for these are for the Centurions, the animated armors. They go on 12. The Sentries go on 11. And the Centurion, or rather the Sentinel, goes on 0 because there's a -2 to... No, my mistake there. The Autognomes, the Sentries go on 0. The Sentinel goes on 12, and the Centurions go on 11. So let me get everyone else's initiatives set up. I have a tracker set up on D&D Beyond. I'm just plugging all these numbers into the track this year. So we got 12, 28, and 20. Are you ask? So while you're asking about the other people's initiatives there, Phyrlass?
So, I have a little gimmick called Graceful Entrance, which is why my initiative is so high. But the important part here is Phyrlass is going to stand pretty much like is going to take position in the middle of everyone, and that's going to give everyone temporary HP equal to my charisma modifier, so 3 for all of you. And I also have the ability to switch my initiative with anyone who has less initiative than me. Would Eclair like to make a blitzkrieg?
Ooh, yeah.
All right, so I will swap those two around. So I have Eclair now on 28, and I have Phyrlass on 16. All right. So here's the thing. Everyone goes before the entities around you here. So I just need to do one small tweak to hit point values, because if I ran these at full hit points, this would go on for too long. And that would create... It's funny, while setting this thing up, it said, oh, this is a deadly encounter. I'm like, sure, Jan. Okay. Deadly. All right. So to kind of lay out the plan here, in the middle of the room near Chad and fairly close to Phyrlass are the 2 animated armors, the Centurions, and rolling up in there also is the Archivist, which is the Sentinel. And then out, like, towards the other door, like standing by with like little sparking little like probes kind of out and ready, are the Autognomes, which are acting as the sentries that are going to try to shoot at you from range. So we begin with Eclair. It is your turn.
All right. Well, in that case, I think I'll aim my first attack at that guy that Chad was taking a closer look at, just like, hell yeah, we get to fight something, let's go!
Yep. That would be one of the Centurions, so go ahead and make an attack roll. Is that, let me see here, that is +8, so that 10 will miss, but you got 2 attacks as a fighter, so
yeah,
let's see what your second one is.
See if I can get the other one to hit.
There
27!
We go.
Let's
that
go!
Will hit. Go ahead. Let's see what your damage is on that hit there.
Let's see. Damage.
All right, so that's 13, it looks like.
Yep.
Excellent. So you hit it, and I will introduce something here, since I am kind of partially running on D&T 2024 rules. You could tell that on that first hit, you've rattled the Centurion enough that it actually looks a bit weakened here. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little marker on here for you all to indicate. Let's see here. I want to find the right marker for you. I'll just put that little dot there to indicate that it is bloodied. It is a construct, so it's not bleeding, but it looks like you hit it and it like dents the chassis really aggressively.
Sorry, what weapon did you bring to this academic event?
A longsword.
That's just her switchblade, you know?
Normal?
Just my normal awesome longsword that I keep with me.
She is a fighter. She is a fighter, so that is actually part of her retinue, like a part of her kit. You know?
Can imagine
Sure.
I usually keep it like safe and sheathed, and I have it like swung across my back like it's my backpack, but it's actually my cool sword.
I like the idea of a switchblade Zweihander, though. That's hilarious.
Sounds good. Ashley, it is your turn. There's a number of constructs that are kind of crowding up on Chad. Claire is driven in, but that does mean there's a lot of people who are adjacent to allies, if that is relevant for what you are thinking of doing here.
Okay, so do any of the constructs have like visible mechanical elements, like cogs or gears or chains?
Like they have like they basically the one that is the most gear-like is the Sentinel, the biggest looking one, the one that's actually large. It kind of has like these like really fine gear work done on it. The Centurions look more just like armor that has been manifested to move around and such, and then the little autonomes in the back are kind of small and particular. So they all seem to have like little gaps in things that you could jam a stick into to make someone trip and hurt themselves or whatever else. So you have room to play in that domain.
So the larger fellow, would I be able to roll for sleight of hand to steal one of the interior gears out of it?
You can attempt to do so. But
your tone makes me believe that's a bad idea.
It might get an attack of opportunity on you for attempting to do so.
Okay. I'm guessing the attention is drawn on Eclair and Chad right now, just because of proximity and the strikes.
It is. So there's a chance that it might try to attack you if it notices what you're doing. So,
okay, if whatever the closest sentry to me that appears to not to be on the attention to Claire or Chad, I would move forward and attack with one of my daggers.
Sure thing. Are you going for the animated armors or the big boy in this case here?
I'll go for one of the animated armors. My strength is just 11.
Yep. And remember, you're using a finesse weapon, so that you'll be using dexterity for your attack and damage rolls of your dagger.
Yeah, no, I've got it in here. D&D Beyond sets up everything to make it so easy.
All right, so go ahead and make your attack with that. That is a 13, so that is not going to hit the armor class. However, because you are a thief, you can, as a bonus action, I believe, attempt to do sleight of hands.
Yeah, sure, why not? Okay.
All right, so what I will want you to do is roll just your sneak attack damage dice. So that'd be 3d6, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a 22 for the audience.
Yeah, a 22, which I'm going to say is enough there. All right, how much damage did you roll there?
That's 9.
That's 9 damage. Okay, so as you do that, you basically kind of reach in. There is effectively almost like some wiring of sorts that you're able to kind of like latch your fingers onto, give it an aggressive tug, and knock. And basically, as you do so, the armor almost falls on top of Chad. As it collapses on the ground adjacent to Eclair. So that takes care of one of the animated armors.
Oh, nice. Good job, Ashley.
Way to go, Ashley. Woo! Yeah, way to go.
Boom.
Ashley plays a major chord.
Excellent. All right, and speaking about majors, that does bring us to Phyrlass's turn in the initiative here.
Alrighty, so Phyrlass is going to move ahead of basically anyone who is not inclined to be in the front lines, and is going to break out her fan in one hand. She has her spear at the ready, and currently the flag reads charge, and she is going to point the fan at the largish fellow in the center. And she's going to call out, "Face me!" And I'm going to be using my bonus action to throw a distraction on this individual, so that if they are not attacking me, they're doing so with disadvantage.
So that is against the Sentinel, the big one there, right?
The very big one, yes.
Got it.
And that was my bonus action. My standard action is I'm going to be using the dodge action, which will give me have it disadvantage against me. But anything having disadvantage against me. But it also means that I get to do my little fun business as a dancer. And, hey, Eclair, would you like to hit something?
I'd love to hit something.
Go right ahead.
Just like a attack roll.
You just get to do an attack for free. Yep.
Yippee! Another 10.
Does not.
Fuck!
Yeah, a 10 is not going to hit anything, unfortunately.
Let me double check the wording on something before I go and commit a statement that might hold falsehood. Because I'm fairly confident I can give you a little bit of a boost to that, but I need to make sure I'm not completely out of my gourd.
I'm pretty sure that whatever boost you can give, it will not be enough to pass the threshold. For
fair enough. I will. So. Fair enough. We'll keep moving, and I'll double check that on my own.
So like Phyrlass steps forward, draws the attention of the big sentinel, the archivist, and then grants Eclair like a bit of a stirring word to make an attack, and Eclair misses the other centurion, the armor that is close to Chad and everyone else. So speaking of Chad, is your turn now.
Don't give up.
I would never give up. I always give 110%. I blow my orange whistle, ear-shatteringly loud. That is the spell Shatter. Constitution saving throw with disadvantage because they're constructs. If there are two of them that are within 10 feet of each other, I'm going to hit 2.
All right, so we'll say that this is going up against the sentinels, the sentries in the back there. They're each going to be making Constitution saving throws, you say?
With disadvantage, correct.
With disadvantage. All right. Let's go ahead and try this out here. Well, that did not. Okay, they did part over there. So the first one rolled a 12.
Nope. 15 is the DC.
15 is the DC.
Oh,
The other one rolled a 7. That's not going to help either.
Drop it, give me 20. He shouts, doing 12 damage to them.
12 damage to each of them. That is very, very good.
12.
In fact, it is good enough that one of them has to do a malfunction check here. So
that's what happens when you neglect your training. Come on.
All right, so let's see here. Does it initiate a malfunction here? So the two autonomes flanking the door get hit by a bit of damage because they got hit by nearly half of their hit points. I decided that I did a coin flip. One of them had a malfunction check. So they rolled a flat D20. They rolled an 18, which triggers the have a magical day effect, in which the autonome explodes and immediately is destroyed.
Ooh.
That's what happens when you neglect your conditioning. I'm always saying this.
Each creature, each non-construct within 20 feet of it has to make a DC 11 dexterity saving throw. So I'm going to say that everyone in the party should make a dexterity saving throw. Phyrlass, you do so with advantage.
My bad.
Oh, that's a 3. I don't like
15?
that.
Oh, no.
I do not add proficiency to this, right?
Let's see here. You do not add, no, but you do roll with advantage. So you're rolling it's a +3, but with advantage in this case here. So
I really fumbled this
I'll
one,
just
team.
do the dice roll twice.
Yep.
Oh, I'm fine.
All right. So I got a 15, 16, and 20. And then over there's Eclair with her 3. So let's roll the damage here real quick here. This is going to be 2d10 damage.
What kind of damage is it?
It is slashing damage.
So I'm assuming absorb elements would not help in this case.
Unfortunately, it would not work in this case here.
I was hoping it would be fire because it was an explosion.
No, it's basically the shrapnel is what's flying out at you all there. So
remember, you had temp HP.
Yeah, you have some temp HP, so that's going to do 7 damage to you total from that. Also, be very clear here, Claire. You're the only person in the party with more than 50 hit points. You're the only person in the party with more than 40 hit points. So,
oh, really?
I'm a little
I have
wizard.
38. I'm near there, but not quite.
I'm a halfling. What do you expect?
Yeah. So so basically one of the two sentries has been knocked out entirely. But anything else that you're going to do, Chad, in your turn?
Nope, that's all. I just apologize to Eclair. Say, my bad. I really fumbled that one. Sorry.
It's just like, dude, it's whatever. We're in a fight. Apologize later.
Yeah, listen, it gives you a cool scar on the cheek, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got the Sentinel. You have its attention, Phyrlass. So it's going to try to attack you, even with disadvantage. And it gets to do so twice because it has a multi-attack in its turn. So let's see here. So I need to roll this twice here. So D20 plus 6. A 9 will not hit you on this first attack.
So Phyrlass has her fan out. She'll flick her wrist, turn it into a pom-pom, and she'll adjust her posture so that it is kind of covering towards her face for the moment for that swing.
Sure. The second swing with disadvantage, it rolls a 20.
I am noticing that, so that's some hubris. It did, however, approach me first.
Yes.
Which means that I do get to take a stab at it.
Go ahead.
Because I have Polearm Mastery.
Go ahead and make your attack with it. Yeah, the opportunity to attack for someone coming towards you is always a nice thing there. So 21 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oops.
I also like to think that the flag that's on the spear has a different term on it there, you know?
Oh, yeah, it has bring it right now.
Yeah, right. Yep. So what is the damage we got here? And then we'll take care of
I think it's just a D8, actually.
For spear? I think so. Yeah, it's just D8. So it'd be D8
Yeah,
plus...
I'm using it as a finesse. You graciously granted to me as finesse, but I don't think that gives me dex on the damage.
No, it does. Finesse means you
it
do...
does? Okay.
Finesse means dex for attack and damage. That's just how it works.
All right, 5 damage.
5 damage. Got it. We'll mark that down. 5 damage on that hit as it approaches you. Now let's do its damage. So since it actually landed a hit on you, despite the odds, it does 14 bludgeoning damage. I need and it has grappled you. As it grabs
that's not happy. That means you're not my kind of dance partner. Go away.
So it is grappled. There is an escape DC, but I believe you can't escape until your turn comes up.
Gotcha.
In this case here. Let me double check here. Grappled. We'll double check escaping a grapple. Yeah, so in this case here, you can use your action to make an acrobatics or athletics check to escape from it. So
gotcha.
And there's some other things that could potentially get you out of it as well. But that is what you are presently dealing with, is that the big thing is, now granted, the other things, if they're trying to attack you, will still have disadvantage in some case. So
yeah.
All right. So that is the Sentinel's turn. It made 2 swings. It made 1 successful attack. There is one of the Centurion's remains. The animated armor is going to attempt to swing an attack at Chad. I mean, just because Chad was the closest thing investigating it here.
Fair enough.
So it's going to make an attack there. That is a 15 on its attack to you.
Big hit.
It'll do 1d6 plus 2 damage. So let's see if it'll actually roll for me here. That is 8 damage your way.
There. I deserve
you have your
that.
temp HP though. Yeah.
Did the roll chat stop updating for me?
No, it's just rolling to me privately here. I'm sorry. I'll make those public rolls in this case here. It's just with roll 20 is beyond 20 is just pushing it to GM rolls here.
Gotcha.
I'll do the other one publicly here. It's going to make a second attack in this case towards Ashley, just because Ashley's fairly close to.
Well, I never.
That is a crit on the attack there.
Oh boy.
Oh, great.
And that's 12 damage your way.
Right. So I had +3, right?
Yeah. So you take 9 damage
good.
total from that there. As it like bonks you there. Now you'll notice that like it hits, but like it's not like really hard hitting. It's more like fairly aggressive bonking to describe it here. You would actually kind of glean that the damage being inflicted is perhaps non-lethal intentionally. Next up we have are the little auto gnomes on the other side, and one of them, still staggering from the shatter, will line up and attempt to do a shot towards, we'll do 2 attacks. This first one will also be towards Chad in this case. Oh wait, let me just roll this out here directly here. That's a 17.
That hits.
And that will be, wow, maximum damage?
Oof. That's okay. I'm taking all the punishment for my quarterback.
That's 12. And speaking about, is Eclair the quarterback or is just
as our DPS, I think Eclair is our quarterback.
So Claire, does a 20 hit your AC?
Yes.
That does 8 damage to you in that case there.
8 damage.
All
Ouch.
right. So that is the end of the initiative. We roll back to the top, and that puts us to Eclair. It is your turn. Next to you is a Centurion that is harassing Chad and Ashley. You have the big Sentinel holding on to Phyrlass, and then back by the door is the little sentry that's been shooting around a little bit there. So feel free to pick your poison in terms of who you want to attack first. And I will remind you that if you want to do a little of extra action this turn, you do have Action Surge as a fighter to do extra stuff.
Interesting.
So
Let's see. So for the... What was the name of it again? The one harassing Chad and
that's
Ashley?
the Centurion, the animated armor. That's this big one, this little one here. Yeah.
Can I use the spell Lightning Lure to just pull that thing away from them?
Absolutely. You can probably hit anything in the room with Lightning Lure if you want to attempt to do that there.
Yeah, I want to try casting Lightning.
Wouldn't that break the grapple?
What?
Would that break the grapple?
It would break the grapple if you pulled Phyrlass out. It would not break the grapple if you pulled the Sentinel over your way.
Interesting. And I don't want to hit Phyrlass with lightning damage. Seems like a bad idea. But yeah, I want.
Also, I just never mind. That one never got an attack. As a reminder, if you hit anything with your longsword, they have disadvantage on their next attack they make.
Right, yeah.
As I remember, because you have a longsword with that mastery in there. So you have a few tricks up your sleeve that you can pull off here.
Yeah, what I wanted to do is cast Lightning Lure on the Sentinel that is harassing Chad and Ashley. So
all right.
I cast Lightning Energy on a creature of choice, and they must succeed a Strength saving throw.
All right. Let's see here. All right, I am going to make this roll here. That's a 17 on that.
Damn, that does that does succeed. So
I will say Lightning Lure is a cantrip, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
So you still have the ability to make a second attack because as an Eldritch Knight at 5th level, you can replace one of your attacks with a cantrip, so you still can make an attack with your sword.
Yeah. So in that failing, I do think I want to try to hit the same guy with my longsword instead and see if that works.
Go for it. Make your attack.
19.
That is a Go ahead and roll your damage for me, please.
It's going to be
That is
9 damage.
9 damage there. Okay. And the next attack that it makes is with disadvantage. Do you want to do anything as a bonus action, or do you want to use your action surge?
Let's see. Action surge gives me the ability to do another action. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. So it gives you an extra 2 attacks or an attack and a cantrip.
Yeah, I'd love to use my action surge. Is there a button I press on D&D Beyond, or should I just... Yes,
Nope.
There we go.
You can do that if you want. And I'll say the other thing you could do is you have some other tools in hand. But we'll just go ahead and resolve that.
Excellent. So you said I get two more attacks?
Correct.
All right, let's see if we could get this guy some more. We got
All right.
longsword.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Another longsword hit for 11 damage.
That is enough to knock it out of commission.
Yay!
So you bonked that one hard enough. Now both of those are down, and now there is the sentry that has Phyrlass in hold, and then the auto gnome by the door over there. The sentry that is shooting stuff there, because of the sentry holding on to Phyrlass. I'm going to say that you can go to the sentry over there, and probably not provoke an opportunity attack.
Mm-hmm. Could I go over there and use that last action of mine to try to hit it?
Absolutely. You still have another attack. You can
Let's
move in
go.
between attacks. Let's go.
The 16
A 16 matches. So roll me the damage there.
Nice.
15. Excellent. So you basically come out there, you smack it hard enough to make the head just pop off and like ricochet off the walls a little bit there. And then it lands in a little heap on the ground next to Ashley.
That's our quarterback.
Yep. So now there's only one foe left, and it's the one that has your tier squad leader in its grasps. And that leads us to, I believe, Ashley. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get it with my short bow.
22 will hit, and since you have an ally adjacent to it, you do your damage and your sneak attack. If you want to invoke any of your clever strike features as a 2024 rogue, you may choose to do so. Basically, you can subtract the d6s to basically, for example, you could attempt to make it prone with a trip sneak attack, for example.
Oh, I like that. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, prone sounds like it would be useful for me.
So you can roll your weapon damage plus 2d6, and then I will attempt a dexterity saving throw on the big old thing.
Okay,
here.
gotcha. Let me figure out how to do that command. It's 1d4 plus 3 and then 3d6.
2d6 in this case, because you're subtracting 1 to make it attempt to
Okay, gotcha.
not be tripped.
Why are you trying to teach us math? What is this, a school?
And then you'll just roll 2d6 to go with that there, because they did not include the
Yeah, I did
2d6
not.
on that roll. It's okay.
It's okay.
So at 7 damage, it's still something.
Yeah.
And now I need to make it do a dexterity save, I believe. Yes. No. It's a dexterity saving throw. It has no bonus for that. So let's just see what a flat d20 has to say here. That is an 11. So congratulations. Describe how you trip this big thing with your short bow arrow there.
I imagine Ashley is quite poetic, so I'm going to shoot its Achilles heel, and then it will crumble and fall to the ground.
Oh, I love that.
It's weird that they decided to give. I mean, granted, it is meant to be the biggest. It is meant to be the most Achillean of these. So it would be deliciously ironic for them to give a construct an actual Achilles heel to be hit. So, Phyrlass, as this shot goes off, you basically see the almost like the wheel that this thing's rolling around on give away. It falls off on its back, releasing you and allowing you to land gracefully on your feet.
Excellent shot.
I play green sleeves again.
And now it is prone. Do you want to attempt to pilfer it with a bonus action, sleight of hand?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Give it a go. Let's see what happens.
Roll filch.
18. I will say that beats its armor class. So, in this case here, give me your sneak attack damage die. In this case, give me a 2d6 on that. In this case here.
Okay.
7. Another great hit there. Excellent work here. So, with that, that's a really excellent display of action there. And I also just like the idea of using sleight of hand with your fast hands to do extra damage to a construct there. Very good. Phyrlass, it is your turn. The other constructs have been knocked out by your allies, and the biggest one of them all, the leader of sorts, is prone and flailing almost as it tries to upright itself like a turtle that's been flipped onto its back.
All right, Phyrlass is going to use her dodge to issue an attack order once again to Eclair. She's also, however, going to present the benefits of a rallying mark. So basically, in addition to doing a dance to encourage Eclair to throw out another swing at your convenience, of course, you're going to do a leadership die of extra damage.
Excellent. What is the leadership die value in this case?
It is a d6, as I recall.
Excellent. I'll also throw as a side note, not to tell you how to run the character. One thing to remember is that if there's ever a situation to do that for Ashley, sneak attack is per turn, not per round.
No, that is a very important distinction.
That is an important distinction, and I'm used to editions where that is not the case.
Yes,
so thank you for that reminder.
Anyways, Eclair, you got a prone mechanical thing. Make your attack against it with advantage because it is prone.
All right, with advantage.
21 will hit. Roll your damage and add 3 to it.
Excellent.
And that's your first attack, by the way. So that's 15. 18, looks like.
You also, by the way, you also regain 3 hit points.
Oh, what? Nice.
I make you hit harder and heal from doing it.
All right.
Sick.
Excellent. Very good. Anything else you want to do for your turn there, Phyrlass?
Phyrlass is pretty much just going to just be shouting encouraging words and continuing her dancing movements.
Excellent. So, Chad, it is your turn. The quarterback has been sacked, but there's a but the refs have not blown the play dead, so there's a chance to force a fumble on it with enough of a hit.
Yeah, Chad sees the quarterback is kneeling and knows good sportsmanship. Although this is not NCAA rules where he's automatically down, you do have to make contact. So
Correct.
He swats the construct on the butt and says, "Good game, champ. Hit the showers." And casts Sword Burst. Dexterity save.
All right. Let's do that with disadvantage because it is prone. So, D20. Does a 14 save?
14 does not beat 15. No, you're going to take 9 damage as 5 ethereal swords burst out of his body. 4 of them have the formulae for the different the exponents of the passer rating formula, and the 5th one has the formula that brings it all together: A plus B plus C plus D divided by 6 times 100, of course. And so if you put all 5 swords together, you get that stat.
So describe how do you take out this sentinel with this particular maneuver here? How does it go down?
So yeah, he sees the quarterback kneeling, just goes, does the friendly football butt pat. It just says "good game," and then just 5 ghostly swords. They are saber metrics, as you said at the beginning. Still seething a little bit that I didn't think of that, and they just burst out of his body and riddle the robot, and he falls over. And then Chad is going to go to all 5 constructs and say, "Good game, good game, good game, good game," and shake all their hands.
What a delightful sport you are! Like that whole sequence went so fast. It went from being like not bloodied to bloodied and taken out in a very short time frame. So like I didn't even have a chance to mark it as such there. So yes, you have disabled the Department of Security for here. I will also add an added note here: as the last entity, as the Sentinel terminates, you feel like a wave of like calm wash over you as all the blood, all the bruises and such kind of inflicted upon you feel like that they weren't even there in the first place. Because their job is to to knock someone out, and then just like put them back in the other room if they're in here unauthorized.
To incapacitate them and stuff them in a locker.
Correct. So conveniently, there is one locker in this room, but 2 out in the other room, in the drafting room there. So,
Gotcha.
So, congratulations. Experience is not going to be doled out because we don't do experience-based gathering here. So,
Excellent work, team. And the flag reads victory.
Yeah, Chad is going to try to join you in a celebration, grabbing everybody, even Ashley, who does not seem particularly open to this, and try to bring you into a celebratory huddle.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I see Phyrlass. You and your girls like do those like cheer routines. I did not know you could throw your weight in a fight. That was pretty sick.
Our routines are in the battlefield, not on the sidelines.
Cheerleaders are elite athletes, Eclair.
Are cheerleaders cool? Have they been cool this whole time?
To be clear, to clarify here, out of character, Fearless is not a cheerleader. She is a cheerleader because she is an Oendon.
yes.
Very specifically.
It is not one word, it's 2 separate words in this case here.
Oh, and Don are cool.
Yes. It's like, listen, everyone's all big about OSU. I'm just like, listen, it does not work for me unless it has the aesthetics and presentation of Osutsukai Oendon, just like.
I like how half of our team is completely inscrutable if you don't know Japanese culture. I love that for us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It is.
I'm going to. My excuse is that's why I'm throwing the bonus attacks to Eclair.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But
we're the weeb delinquent squads.
I'm gonna have to put links to the Wikipedia page.
Well, you're delinquents, we're not.
For Oendon and Sukaban for our audience.
But not Sokoban. That's a different thing there. I don't have a crate pushing puzzle yet in the works here. But anyways, yes. So the constructs are done, thus leaving the pathway to the sentry book storage room that is clearly marked beyond the 2 sentries. Both of them decapitated, one of which is decapitated by means of self-destruction in this case.
All right, let's get that fucking book.
All right.
Fearless will take point on that, never.
Beyond the doorway is a simple chamber, looking like it might have acted as a printing press room at some point, with a variety of tools set up in neat order along the walls for the purpose of printing, cutting, and binding books. In the center of it is a display case, held closed with a lock, enshrouded in glass, inside of which is a sizable tome with the words Shardpoint Academy Century Book inlaid in gold.
All right, well, if you have a lock and we have a rogue, so I'm going to turn to Ashley and say, I think you're up, quick hands.
I play a minor chord, but then I slowly trudge towards the book.
You can do it!
It's like they're going to play a minor major chord, a major minor chord, maybe a 9th chord?
Well, it has 4 strings, Skitch.
Chord voicings exist, and you know that.
I know, but it's neither here nor there. Should I have to roll for sleight of hand here?
That'd be a sleight of hand with proficiency. Now, here, let me double check your character sheet because you might actually have some
I do have
other
proficiency
advantages
in sleight of
here.
hand.
Right, you have proficiency with sleight of hand and advantage, the expertise in there. So go ahead, and you have thieves' tools on hand, probably, correct?
Actually, I don't think I do have these tools on hand.
Hold on.
No, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so if you use those, you can. So not only do you get a +9 to your roll here, you're rolling with advantage since you are doing a check with a skill you're proficient in, and with tools that you have a proficiency in. So give me that D20 +9. Roll it twice.
Okay.
Making a rogue who's never heard of thieves' tools is something I would do.
Yeah.
He's really all about the theater.
One more time. There we go. The DC was 15, so that having an advantage would definitely help. With a 19, you expertly crack the lock, it unclaps, falls to the ground, and like the glass cover on the book just like opens on its own, showing off the book and making it easily accessible for retrieval.
Last book I grabbed bonked me in the head, so someone else feel free.
Fearless will take point on this one and will grasp the book and flip through the pages for her own indulgence, she will flip back to the entry she spoke of earlier that shared a moment of her mentor and herself.
Okay, I'm going to need to ask for you to do, I don't know, a perception check.
Perception. Ooh, I'm actually kind of good at perception.
I'm just looking for a particular, like, avoidance of a particular result. So let's see here.
I think 21 passes.
I was looking for a 29. Anyways, no.
Oh, I see.
So actually, can the rest of you also join in the perception checks here?
Okay. Perception check.
Cool.
Got a 14. Pretty good for a 0 modifier.
I'm going to say that Phyrlass will actually like kneel down so everyone can see the book because she's taller than some folks present. I think she's actually taller than everyone when I stop to think about it.
Probably.
A gnome and a halfling. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you roll there, Peter?
3.
A 3. And I'm going to say that kind of plays into the early investigation. There's like a certain disengagement you still have with the scenario here. So the only person who doesn't immediately notice what's going on here is Ashley. The rest of you, as Phyrlass is trying to flip to the particular page she is looking for, you notice something weird. And that is that, like, some of the books are laid out and they look fine. Other ones you might have like a picture and a title and then no other text. And other pages are just wholly blank. And this is the case of what happens when you reach the page you're looking for, Phyrlass. It's just, you go to the page, there's like a headline indicating the department. And like, it's like, even has like a headline of like, you know, breakthrough paper from the kinesthetics department, or whatever you want to call the department there. And there's just nothing else on the page. It is like nothing was written there in the first place.
But what is the meaning of this? Where
Did they get lazy?
Where is it? I know it was in this book. I have seen it.
Well, I tell everybody about what I saw in the other room, which is that they are using some kind of magic to fill out this book. So maybe something went wrong there.
Potentially. Do you want to investigate any further on this, Chad, on the book itself?
Sure. Well, you want me to roll investigation?
Arcana or investigation, either is fine in this case.
They're both +7, so 14.
All right. So
Investicana.
Yeah. Here's what I will say. If you were to put your hand on the page to investigate it, 2 things you'll notice. One is, do you have Detect Magic on your hand as a spell in your inventory?
Yes.
Excellent. If you were able to use Detect Magic as part of this, you will glean that something happened to the pages recently. You can't tell what happened, but it's almost like there's like an echo of what should be on there that you can almost, it's almost like, imagine if you were putting your hand on a piece of paper here and you had some of your senses filled with like the feeling of what the page is describing without the words being there, but it's vague. Like it's like a dream that you woke up from. You have vague memories of what happened there. So something happened. It seems to have been recent. And there's like almost like an echo of what was left on the page when you touch it.
Okay, so a fair summary is that the Century Book Club set up a magic situation where they could have it filled out remotely through magic, and it's been locked in this room, but someone recently came by and interfered with / sabotaged it and then locked it back up.
That is hard to determine from what is going on here, but something or someone seems to have done something to cause the information to no longer be on the pages there.
Who are the rivals of the Yearbook Club? AV Club?
That is
Anime Club.
That is a very good question, but I think in the immediate, there might be something else that you might want to do with the book first, given the circumstance here.
Eat it. No, wait, someone stop me.
Do not eat.
Phyrlass will hold the book out of reach of everyone.
Do we
We should go
do
back.
we want to take it back to Orin?
Yeah.
Is that what? we gotta do.
It is what we were instructed to do, but we will have to bear this bad news, no doubt.
Anything else y'all want to do here before you make the trek back to Orin's office here?
Casting detect magic as a ritual, check to see if there's any other effects. Maybe somebody's, set up a trap or has some kind of, spying, scrying situation going on.
That's a great thing. You do not detect any divination magic within the room. There is, of course, conjuration magic at play because it would be necessary for things to be transported into the book to use conjuration. And so you can't necessarily determine what might have been done to remove things from the book, but it would probably also be conjuration adjacent.
Okie dokie. I explained that to the party.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I will say that for the others involved, we will discuss kind of like what might be notable things that you would care about in the book. But for now, you make the trek back. As you leave the book club, the Century Book Club's, their center of operations, you exit out of the door that you entered, but of course, it's not in the same location. Instead, it actually is in the back alley where Eclair's gang hangs out. There's just a door there that you exit.
Oh, yeah. This is where they use to sneak out and do gang things.
Can I roll stealth to hide from one of them who I think I owe money?
You may attempt to roll stealth to hide.
Oh, no, a 2. She beats my ass.
Before anyone beats your ass, like Eclair will hold up her hand just a pause on the debt, at least until we get this thing done that we got to do with the boss and the book and whatever.
I'm sorry, Candy. My 5-way parlay is gonna hit. I swear. I'll have it to you next Wednesday.
You better, or else I'm gonna put you in the trash, and it's gonna be clean. I'm not the type to make someone filthy, but you're gonna go in that can and you're gonna think about what you did to my financial opportunities here. Okay?
You don't understand. This is how I win. I have to make the parlay.
Just you can take care of your stuff next time.
You better make your parlay, or you better be far away from me when I try to come after you.
Hell yeah.
Phyrlass is just going to kind of be brandishing the fan to support the thuggery going on.
Oh my god, thank you.
I'm gonna play a wah 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 on my instrument.
Meanwhile, one of Claire's peers is sizing you up, Ashley. And it's like, you want to roll with us? I mean, we're always hiring.
I am incredibly nervous that someone is talking to me, and I just leave on contact and start fiddling on my instrument.
Are you having a full-on breakdown in the background of every scene?
I mean, yes.
Okay. I feel like on the way back to the headmaster's office, I'm gonna maybe fully take that on board for the first time and be like, Ashley, are you okay?
No.
Okay. I heard you say earlier that the drama club never turns down a performance, which leads me to ask, I'm sorry if this sounds rude, but what was up with that Pippin show you put on? I feel like you should have passed on that one.
Listen, okay, I'm only the vice president, okay? I don't get to make decisions. I just get to take blame for some of the decisions.
Whatever happened to Phantom of the Opera? Come on, it's a crowd pleaser.
I like the part where the Pippin show has the weird, sexual war scene.
Oh, not another Pippin head. Oh my god. Back me up, Fearless. Pippin's weird, right?
I point to her and I say, see, she gets it.
Oh my god.
Just listen, I'm not
Fearless
usually a theater head.
is just going to... is going to provide dance motions that support the dreary narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I'm not usually a theater head, but I think the weird ones are fun.
Oh my god, I'm surrounded.
All right.
It's the Pippin posse.
as the Pippin posse makes its way back to Orin's office here. No other major events happen. I'm going to keep that investigation in my back pocket, Peter. I'm going to drop it on you at the worst possible moment.
That'll help with the catastrophizing.
Yeah, that's what this character needs, is more Sword of Damocles.
Just existential dread.
I was about to make that exact reference.
A sort of Damocles, let me just die alone and revered. I want to die alone, but revered, okay? The most tragic way here. But
even though I won't be able to enjoy it.
when you make your way back into Orin's office, I assume you do not even bother knocking. You just walk in.
I kick the door open.
They just finished replacing the door, and now it's off its hinge again.
Good.
And you have like Orin like sitting at the desk, looking at like what looks to be effectively like a chart. And you have like JJJ holding a little like stick, kind of pointing at it a little bit, and Orin's just like, well, yes, okay, that's the enrollment rate. Okay, let's take a look. You're all back. Okay, so soon.
I'm gonna like walk up to his desk and like put like a disrespectful like foot on it for a second. Just like lean over him. Just be like, "Book's broken."
Book's haunted.
What? Book's haunted.
I'm sorry. Book's broken. I mean,
Phyrlass will withdraw the book and will place it firmly but not harshly upon the surface of the desk, and is going to open the page that is relevant to her and prominently display that something is wrong.
Book's broken, but door is not. I say, casting the mending cantrip on the door that Eclair smashed.
you fix the hinges on the door laying on the ground, but they'll not put it back inside of the frame.
My job here is done.
You just leave the room and do not answer any of the questions there. So Orin's just like, oh no. Starts flipping through the book, pulls up some other things. There's a section here, like headlines like the Shardpoint crystals, win conference pennant as a headline. Nothing on the page. There's a further like flipping to another area. We have like I'm trying to think here, just like iconic rivalry causes literal earthquake. Nothing on the page there. And then
Pippin performance, strange, confusing, raves critics.
Strange, Pippin performance, strange, arousing, no, strange. Critics confused but elated. Nothing on the page. And
lead player confusing and sexual.
The subtitle's not even there. We don't even know what the subtitle is for that section there. Nor it's just like, okay.
So do we win?
It would appear that the club decided to engage in unspirited actions and decided to try to take the easy way out, and it has backfired.
Yeah, Chet over there says they tried to automate the whole thing.
Well, that's probably one of the better ways to do it, given just the sheer volume of information. Some streamlining should have been done.
No oversight to an operation is an invitation for failure.
Well, the automation is not the cause of the oversight. The leader of the club being polymorphed into a slime and going off to live their own life elsewhere, that was where the oversight went, unfortunately.
A spell can never be held accountable, therefore a spell should never make a management decision.
Yes. However, I will say that the last time that I was auditing the contents of this book, there's information was still in here. Like my class photo isn't even in here.
Headmaster,
just remarks.
or I say, Coach, are you saying there's been a book heist?
I play a wah-wah-wah on my instrument.
I like how you have a wah pedal hooked up to your lyre somehow.
It's a magical. It's a realm with dragons. I can have what I want.
You can have what you want. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I love it,
good.
you know?
This is why people got
yeah,
mad at Bob Dylan when he started doing all the effects on his dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Bob Drillin over here, just like, but Orin's just like, it's like even my class photo is missing from this. Well, I suppose what I'm going to be working on next is going to be a very different project, but what we need to figure out also is a way to finish the book. We have the subjects and the topics here, so all we need to do is just find a way to repopulate the pages with what is missing. That is.
Should we stay in this team formation, or do you want us to break out into separate groups to accomplish this quest?
I think whatever we do, we can't let word about this spread too far, because if too many people hear about it, there's a chance that the other institutions might hear about this, and if they know about the state of the book in its present form, they might preemptively do actions to discredit our entire academy here.
Yeah, Stone Root University is always sending scouts, and they tape our practices, so we got to watch out for those guys.
It is an unacceptable result. We will not allow it to happen.
You know, my girls, Candy and Coco, we could probably like scout around and try to figure out like where some of these things like got taken. If you will allow me to let them know, they can keep a secret. They can go to they can take it to a grave.
My boys cannot keep a secret. Do not tell my boys.
in terms of finding out what has happened here, obviously we can investigate those angles here. My immediate concern is seeing if we have a way of like recreating what's on these pages here. Maybe like sort of maybe we might have to resort to like secondhand account. Maybe we have to do in reenactments or something. But we have to do something in order to make sure that this book is at least complete here. Jeez, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? Like Orin just like stands up from the desk, reaches over to like the chart that's on like the little A stand, flips it over, and then just starts just drawing stuff on there in a hurry, like doing what effectively looks to be like a string theory like diagram on there to try to like figure out what's going on there.
Phyrlass's eyes will just kind of glaze over.
Yeah. Chad's excited. He says, drop the linebacker back into coverage.
I start playing Moonlight Sonata.
Whoa.
There's a little bit of a peer and Orin's like, let's see here. Is there anything else you all were able to figure out while looking in the facilities?
No one's been there in a while.
Robots are rude.
Robots are rude.
Well, they're designed to be rude sometimes. You can't blame them for that.
I don't. It's all part of the game.
And also, the Century Book Club is a bunch of little pranksters.
Given that some of those members were in that club for about 80 years, I assume that they would have to do something to pass the time while waiting for information to come in.
Damn, do they get how many credits do they get for that?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Damn, yes.
It was one of the few extracurricular clubs that basically accomplished an entire year's worth of extra credit. Until the actual work ended up becoming a bit too detail-oriented, hence the streamlining that was proposed by one of the graduates, who then later turned themselves into a slime and absconded off onto the coast to, enjoy the rest of their days there. Proud of them. Happy for them, of course.
I thought that was an offhanded joke, but now I think we gotta go talk to this guy.
If you can find them.
I don't know.
But
Does anyone have experience with communicating with slime?
I mean, I put a lot of slime in my sports potion.
I have people I would consider slime.
I'm just saying. I'm sure. I'm just thinking like, well, if you want to hear about talking to slime, I guess we got season 9 and 11 that involved that as well, but that's a whole different can of worms. Yeah. But all right. In any case, perhaps each of you could investigate the specific entries that are missing, just because I have a feeling that you each might have some way of recreating it, the information that's found on these pages here. And Oren will...
I remember the event that my mentor was in very vividly.
Yes. We have you. We have you, Ashley. You probably could help maybe reconstruct or find some way of recreating this information about this one Pippin performance.
Well, my grandfather was the president of the theater club.
Oh, you're right.
Did he do cats?
I
fucking love Mr.
No.
Mistopheles.
No. They didn't do cats. They just were cats on stage.
Oh, they were tabaxi. In this,
I do.
in this universe, it's just called tabaxi! Exclamation point.
When I think about it, I think that earthquake in that one page, I think that might have involved my pops or my grandpops.
Oh wow.
Yes, I believe that was the case. I think, yes. I believe the other one involved was, what is their name? Slag, is it?
Well, you can't say that in the UK.
What is that other student's name? There.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I think I can go give her a little piece of my mind.
Fair enough. Okay. And obviously you, Chad, you probably remember this particular game here.
Yeah, just put me in, coach. I'm good. I got it.
All right. So that's our initial plan. We'll try to get to the bottom of what happened to the book. In the meantime, let's try to at least recreate what should be on these pages. And if the book is complete, but there's some discrepancies, we'll get audited, but we won't get in trouble.
Yellow card. We're still in the game.
Exactly. All right.
Never give up.
That's right. Crystals on 3. 1, 2, 3. Crystals.
The flag reads crystals.
I assume Ashley does not play the Crystals fight song.
Maybe half-heartedly.
What is the fight song for the Crystals, though? What is it called?
It's just like a Crystal Castles song.
A nice choice, honestly. I approve of that. So, as we pull back from the end of this particular scene, there's almost like I would like to kind of think as we pull back, the camera pulls out from the headmaster's office, and at one of the peaks of the rooftops, there's one of various crystals sort of like situated, spinning a little bit in place at the apex of the roof. And as this whole thing's being discussed, like a hairline crack starts to form along the crystal as it hovers above the rooftop.